This is a clip from the Cannon podcast. To hear the full episode and get access to exclusive benefits, head over to patreon.com/thecannonpod and sign up for just £3 a month.
Yeah, I think what I want to move on to now is, a potential deal, which I don't see happening. First things first, I'm going to just say right now, but it would be blockbuster. It would be gargantuan. And we are talking about a player that, is reportedly potentially going to be available at least. He himself says he's happy at PSG, but Fabrizio Romano says otherwise. So I don't know who I'm believing at this point because, Fabrizio is going head to head with players nowadays. Kylian Mbappé is out of contract next season, and he's refusing to extend his contract, meaning that PSG might look to force him out this summer if he doesn't extend. Now, of course, you've got Real Madrid, but they've got a lot of drama behind there, having not gone there a few years ago. And then you have to think about the Premier League, When you've got Erling Haaland here, you've got one of the Premier League superstars now, the world superstars. Does he want to come to the Premier League and fight, Haaland for one of the best players in the world? With the Premier League being the best league as well, financially as well, all that type of stuff. Mbappe might be available. And it sounds crazy. I know a lot of fans will laugh about this, but, we're in the Champions League football. We got Thierry Henry's heritage. We got Emirates Stadium. And also, we can't forget, by the way, Arsenal are massive in France. I saw a report a while back that we are actually one of the biggest clubs in France, despite not being there. The Arsene Wenger influence, Thierry Henry, Robert Pires, so many players there. If he is available, it'd be very expensive, but I know Alex has got his thoughts on this. Alex, take me away and tell me about the dream of Mbappe at the Emirates Stadium fulfilling Thierry's prophecy.
Okay. The first half of my answer, please wait for the second half before you comment. Okay. Here's why it could happen.
Okay.
Kylian Mbappe, in terms of his next step in his career, he needs to go to a bigger league. That is undoubted in terms of the quality of opposition that he needs to face, in terms of proving himself, in terms of him growing his brand. Because again, I'd say Mbappe is more of the Ronaldo and Haaland's more of the Messi in terms of the kind of the business sense. I don't see that for Haaland. I think Messi's got that later on in his career, but I think Mbappe has always been about the kind of KM7, CR7 type thing. I think Mbappe needs to grow that. Where's the best possible location? Premier League. Okay, there's 20 teams there. Right, who realistically, he's not going to play not in the Champions League. Okay, so there's 4 clubs. Okay. So
sorry, Chelsea.
So yeah, he's not going to Chelsea. He's not going to not play in the Champions League. I just don't see that happening. For his brand, it's not good. So he's looking at, basically, City won't take him because they've got Haaland, and I really don't think he would go there because of Haaland. He will want to be the main guy. You've then got Newcastle, and you've got Arsenal, and you've got Manchester United, right? So there's 3 clubs there that are looking abroad. Maybe you're looking at Bayern Munich, but I can't quite see that happening. I think I imagine he wants to come at some point.
They can't afford Rice. They can't afford Rice. They can't afford Mbappe.
Right. So there is a pathway there, and then we start talking about the Thierry Henry idea. We talk about Arsenal in France. We talk about his rivalry with Haaland, etc., etc., etc. Now, I could liquidate all my assets and go out and buy a Range Rover. Actually, I don't think I could. I don't think I have the money. I could buy it on finance, right? I could do that. I could if I wanted to, right? I could then drive that Range Rover throughout my town, and everyone would be like, "Wow." Well, they wouldn't care, but they'd go, whatever.
Oh, did you buy the assets and pay with the internet as well?
That's what happened. He's on some other plan.
You could continue.
I could. However, is that a smart decision? It's not. Is that a decision that is going to make sense for my club going forward? It's not. Is Kylian Mbappe? Would Kylian Mbappe be an incredible signing that would be a blockbuster, that would make headlines around the world, that would be whatever? Of course. But a month into that signing, once the transfer dopamine had gone down, once the sort of the Kylian Mbappe shirts have been sold, etc., 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 we'd all start to look at it and go, oh my God, we've just tied ourselves to hundreds and hundreds of thousands. I mean, how much you'd want a week, I don't know. Let's say we could even negotiate him down from 800,000 a week, whatever he's on, to 500,000. Every single player at our club will start going, well, you can pay that guy that. He's offering, let's say he gets 25 goals and Martinelli gets 15, 20. He goes, well, I at least want to be paid half of that, surely. you're looking at someone who would be expecting, with someone of that style and size and the weight around that name and the expectations of a country essentially around that person. The moment he's dropped, the moment he comes off for a couple of minutes at the end of a game, it's a news story, it's whatever. All the furore around it would be a nightmare, and it would be the worst possible time for him to come into this project. I'm telling you now. If we were further down the road and we had won a few things, and it wouldn't be such a news story, Kylian Mbappé would become Kylian Arsenal, or whatever they stylize it, Kylian Arsenal, however they describe it. He would come in. I imagine he would think, if they can do it, please get me in, because then I can take over that club, essentially. But from our perspective, it's ridiculous. Now, there's a part of me that is saying, come on, live a little. You only live once, of course. But in terms of our wage structure, in terms of the club culture, in terms of not allowing any player to be bigger than the club, in terms of all of the wage structure work we've done, all that stuff, it makes no sense. But do I want a Range Rover? Of course I do.
It doesn't make sense, but you're right. It is the dream of the Mbappe shirt on the back of the Arsenal shirt, and him being at the Emirates Stadium under the lights in the Champions League. Saka, Martinelli, Mbappe. I mean, I might have to buy the Range Rover at this point because it's looking very tempting. And I think the way I look at it in the sense of, you're right, but also in terms of rumours, you think about his stay at PSG, it's been consistently every summer he's the centre of attention. Is he going? Is he staying? That's not going to change when he comes to Arsenal. It'll be the same thing every year.
Exactly.
And until he's in a Real Madrid shirt, that rumour will persist. And even when he's in a Real Madrid shirt, there'll be rumours of him going to Saudi Arabia. That's just a question. Okay, Thank you very much. It will be, the rumours will persist, and I think Arsenal fans will like the idea initially, and it will be amazing to show about Mbappe, and cool, he's there. But once, as you said, that dopamine goes down and you relax a little bit, you realise, we might have a little bit of a problem here, and it is what it is. But George, what do you think about the potential of Kylian?
So what you both are saying is you wouldn't take Kylian Mbappe.
Yeah.
No, I would take him. I would take him. But I'm being
he's
sensible
terrible as well. He's a terrible player.
I think this is the player youngster from the academy. I think they're better as well. I think he'll produce someone better.
Yeah. No, exactly. We've got Balogun, right? Look, I feel like whatever you talk. Yeah.
I mean, Lacazette scored as many goals as Mbappe, or sorry, say he was close. So
is it really that good? Yeah. No. Look, there's all these jokes about it, and I feel like you have to preface these type of things with, is he generational? Okay, yeah, he is. It's not a case of the player. One thing that I'm going to put as a perspective, though, is I think Alex laid out the feasibility argument really, really well. We just signed on 3 superstars to £200,000 a week. Are you buying somebody that's going to reduce over, £300,000 a week just to double that? I don't know. The impact that has on the team and globally about what story that happens. Look, he is a player that, you do buy and you change anything for. I'll be honest. He is that type of talent. If you're asking me in isolation to quantify what is Kylian Mbappe, what could he be, it's frightening. One thing that I want to bring up, though, is we already have that type of aura in the club, and his name is Mikel Arteta. One of those two is not surviving. Kylian Mbappe is a sporting director at PSG. He's coming for less influence in a bigger league to compete with his perceived equal, quote unquote, with Haaland. And by the way, I'm with Alex. He's looking at the Premier League over La Liga in Madrid, in my opinion. Why? That ego cannot take Haaland doing it here and him not doing it in the same league. Yep. It's a business. It is totally. It's for his brand. So he will be looking at the Premier League. Make no mistake about it. A lot more than Madrid, in my opinion. And the money is better. The stage, the global status, the legend of Mbappe is bigger in the Premier League than it is at Madrid, in my opinion, as long as Haaland stays in the Premier League. Now, if Haaland moves, then no problem. Kylian will move wherever Haaland is, in the same way that Ronaldo and Messi wrote their own legends together. Not in isolation, but together. And those two are linked. And it's kind of poetic, but those two are linked.
It stinks of Newcastle. Sorry to cut across you, but it stinks of Newcastle. Actually,
it's going to surprise people. I think it stinks of the other people that are up north a little bit more for me. Manchester, unfortunately. Yeah.
A couple of years ago, maybe. I think that's like a Ten Hag. I think that might be a Ten Hag not negotiable. Like, don't do that to me. Thanks for checking out the Cannon Podcast. To get full episodes and access to exclusive benefits, head over to patreon.com/thecannonpod and sign up for just £3 a month.